Here's today's First Word Daily Devotion.
December the 23rd takes us to a difficult book to say, and I'm going to do the best I can. Habakkuk. Habakkuk. I used to say Habakkuk, but I think it's Habakkuk. Habakkuk 1 through 3, of course, that's the totality of the letter or the book Habakkuk. The oracle that Habakkuk the prophet saw. O Lord, how long shall I cry for help, and you will not hear, or cry to you violence, and you will not save? Why do you make me see iniquity, and why do you idly look at wrong? Destruction and violence are before me, strife and contention arise, so the law is paralyzed, and justice never goes forth. For the wicked surround righteousness, so justice goes forth perverted. So here Habakkuk is telling us a little bit of the condition, and again the condition is a heart condition of the people. Justice is falling aside. It looks as if wickedness is all there is. And of course he's crying to the Lord, asking him for salvation. And here is raising judgment at verse 5. Look among the nations and see, wonder and be astounded. For I am doing a work in your days that you will not believe if told. And the work that he's doing is of course bringing judgment. And we'll skip ahead here, or we'll wait to see what that new work is in chapter 2. But before we get there, let's look after the contrast of verse 11 when God is saying that he's going to raise judgment. Verse 12 comes, Are you not from everlasting, O Lord my God, my Holy One? We shall not die. O Lord, you have ordained them as a judgment, and you, O rock, have established them for reproof. And so look at the answer that the Lord has to all the wickedness that's increasing. He establishes them, that is, all of these Chaldeans that are going to come and devour, they are for reproof. They are his winnowing fork, and that's a language that we're going to see from Revelation today. We'll get there. They are intending to serve his purpose in the earth. Verse 13, You who are of pure eyes then to see evil cannot look at wrong. Why do you idly look at traitors? Remain silent when the wicked swallows up the man more righteous than he. You make mankind like the fish of the sea, like crawling things that have no ruler. He brings all of them up with a fish with a hook. He drags them out with his net. Now, skip ahead to chapter 2. Look at verse 3. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. In other words, though we may look at our world and see that there is no justice, we trust in the God who has a purpose. And if it seems slow, just wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. And what is the purpose of this? What's the Lord doing here? For example, in chapter 1 and verse 5, when he says that he's doing a work in your days that you wouldn't believe. Well, what's he doing? Look at chapter 2 and verse 14. Here's the new work. The earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. And here we have a reminder at verses 18, 19, and 20 of the foolishness of idolatry. There again, showing us that the reason for trouble in the world is a misplaced worship. In other words, all the problems in the world can be boiled down to a theological problem. And you listen to the headlines today, and as the year progresses, you've already heard them this year already. How much theology is in our headlines? We were made for worship, friend. Regardless of if we acknowledge it or not, we were made to worship. And so the problem here with Israel, the problem with the world, is a worship problem. And so the question then comes from Habakkuk at verse 18 of chapter 2, What profit is an idol, when its maker has shaped it, a metal image, a teacher of lies? For its maker trusts in his own creation when he makes speechless idols. Woe to him who says to a wooden thing, Awake! To a silent stone, Arise! Can this teach? Behold, it is overlaid with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in it. But the Lord is in his holy temple. Notice the contrast here. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. And then we close Habakkuk today with a prayer of Habakkuk the prophet according to Shigionoth. And that Shigionoth there, we have this reference at the very end of Habakkuk to the choir master with stringed instruments. So this Shigionoth is a term of is a musical term. So look at chapter 3 then, and look at this statement here at verse 2. In wrath, remember mercy. What's the cry of Habakkuk's heart? It's God, in your wrath, remember mercy. And this is the message, of course. This is the message of the cross. And the cross makes this point that in wrath, God remembers mercy. Here is this beautiful gospel truth for us from Habakkuk, that the Son was slain for us so that we could be saved. In wrath, God remembers mercy. But look at verse 13 and notice this Genesis 3:15 language. You went out for the salvation of your people, for the salvation of your anointed. You crushed the head, there's that Genesis language, of the house of the wicked, laying him bare from thigh to neck. Verse 16 then, I hear and my body trembles. My lips quiver at the sound, rottenness enters into my bones. My legs tremble beneath me, yet I will quietly wait for the day of trouble to come upon people who invade us. In other words, the hope of Habakkuk is the Lord who is the just judge of the earth. He will do what's right. It's the same hope that Abraham has, and the same hope that Abraham has, that Habakkuk has, we're called to have today. Though the fig tree should not blossom, look at this hope in the end of Habakkuk. Though the fig tree should not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, the produce of the olive fail, and the fields yield no food, the flock be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will take joy in the God of my salvation. God the Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He makes me tread on my high places. And here at the final verse of Habakkuk, we have the whole intention of the book. Trust in the Lord no matter what. What a word for us today. Very quickly, let's look at Revelation 14. We won't get into the Psalms or the Proverb today, but Revelation 14 is here for us. Then I looked, and behold, on Mount Zion stood the Lamb, and with him 144,000 who had his name and his Father's name written on their foreheads. So this is in contrast, of course, to the mark of the beast. These people are marked by the name of the Lamb and his Father. Verse 4, it is these who have not defiled themselves with women, for they are virgins. And look at this language. It is these who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. Isn't this the invitation that John received from Jesus when he was on the earth in his earthly ministry before the cross, before the resurrection? Follow me. Well, these faithful ones are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. I wonder, dear friend, if that's the way you want to live your life, following the Lamb wherever he goes. And remember, wherever he goes is a safe place for you. Verse 6, then I saw another angel flying directly overhead with an eternal gospel to proclaim to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, language, and people. And he said with a loud voice, fear God, give him glory, because the hour of his judgment has come, and worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea, and the springs of water. In other words, don't worship the things of the earth, worship the one who made the earth. And then, of course, we have this language of eternal judgment. If anyone worships the beast in its image and receives a mark on his forehead and on his hand, so also will drink the wine of God's wrath, poured full strength into the cup of his anger. He'll be tormented with fire and sulfur in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment goes up, listen to this language, forever and ever. And they will have no rest, day or night, these worshippers of the beast and its image, and whoever receives the mark of its name. Verse 12 then tells us exactly what chapter 13 and verse 10. Why is all this written? Here it's a call for the endurance of the saints, those who keep the commandments of God and their faith in Jesus. And I heard a voice with heaven saying, write this, blessed are the dead who die in the Lord, and from now on, blessed indeed, says the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, for their deeds follow them. We have hope today because of Jesus, and since we have Jesus, we have power to endure. We trust the Lord no matter what.